Hello, champions. Good morning. Oh my gosh, you guys. It is the last Monday of the month of June, which is the last 6 months of 2026. Are you ready? Have you thought yourself through all of your goals for 2026? And have you met yourself at the halfway point? Because, oh my gosh, just like all the other years, it is going so fast. I'm sure you're feeling it as well. But it's okay, right? Like, just because, even if you aren't at the halfway mark yet, you're here, you're present, and you're thinking about what you want to do next in your life. So, if you're watching me live, please go ahead and put live in there. If you're catching me on the replay, awesome. But let me know so that I can reach out to you as well. I'm Coach Tina, and I have been running the Empowering Champions community for over 5 years now. How crazy is that? I never thought I would do something consistently every week, except for a few hiccups here and there. Case in point being a couple weeks ago when I was on a unexpected airplane ride headed home. Crazy life we've been having lately, but that's okay because I am also here and I am doing the thing. I picked back up and I'm not giving up. Okay. So this is listed as the last in the June series of, Wild Blue Yonder. And that was a declaration made at the beginning of the year that I was going to do a series right around this time because Chris was going to be graduating from flight school. He was going to be done with the program at this point, and we were going off into the Wild Blue Yonder, which is a reference to the Air Force when you learn to fly. That's the song. It just felt very apropos. So many of you know Chris had the health incident. He's on an emergency leave program at his school, and we're waiting to have an appointment with the neurologist before he meets with the medical examiner to determine if he will be going back to flight school. So in the interim, we're having a different life, which you guys remember what this year is all about? The theme for the year was rewrite the script, okay? Starting from a completely blank page, we are going to figure out life a new way, not a rewrite of what you did last year, not this is how I'd like to massage this a little bit, maybe put a few edits in. No, this is a complete, total starting from scratch. And oh my gosh, wasn't expecting it to be exactly like this. You never are though, right? So, what I've learned in the first 6 months of the year is to take a big, deep breath. So Vanessa, I see you. Thank you for being here. Take that big, deep breath and lean in because you never know what life has in store for you. Now, what ended up happening is this is not the June series for Wild Blue Yonder. I actually wanted to switch it last week, but things were so crazy that I just let it go. And it should have been the start of the new series. So we're starting it right now, right? You guys see the theme here? You hit an obstacle and you just decide, what am I going to do next? It's okay, the obstacle's there. I'm going to turn to the left. I'm going to turn to the right. I'm going to dig underneath it. I'm going to climb over the top of it. I'm going to find a way to overcome the obstacle. Now, this is a small one. What does it matter that I named this series 6 months ago and had a hiccup, right? Not a big deal. What would have been a big deal is not having my husband anymore. That would have been crisis mode, right? Like I would be in a totally different place. But we are blessed to have had a miracle with Chris's recovery, and I just can't say enough wonderful things. So the actual series that we are about to start is Midlife Magnificent. And so we're in the middle of the year. Midlife might be that for you. We are also in the middle of my birthday. I just hit it last week on Thursday. So I am now the big 6-0. I never thought I would say that. And I got to tell you, I do not feel like I am 60, but that's okay because I am. This live. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for it. I was like, kind of like talking about starting with a blank sheet of paper. I see the irony of it. I'm like, what do I want to talk about, right? So what I want to talk about is what midlife magnificent even means. I mean, like, is 60 really midlife? Well, it is if you believe, like Tony Robbins, that he wrote a book several years ago called Life Force. And in Life Force, they are predicting that with technology that's coming to the foreground, healthy individuals will be able to live until at least 120, which is biblical, you guys. That's what it said in the Bible, was that people live to 120. So we just get restored back to the age that we were supposed to live to. I think that sounds pretty cool. So I am at 60 at my midlife point, which is pretty encouraging and exciting. And I want to hang on to the hope that 120 is possible, because if you're like me, there's a lot of things from the past where you're like, I didn't do this, or I didn't start this, or I wanted to do this still. And guess what? There's no time like the present. And so I am getting started now, and I'm treating it like it's midlife. Which, ironically, we just came out of Life Mastery from Tony Robbins, and one of the major skill sets that they teach at Life Mastery is about identity and assuming the identity of who it is you want to become as an inspiration. So my identity, the one that I feverishly wrote down on paper, that we get into this vision of who we want to be, how we want to do our life, and then we write it all down, and it doesn't have to make sense to anybody, but then you declare it. You're like, I am, and you say who you are. And then throughout the event, Lauren Lahav is the host for this week's one that we had. They ask you, what is your identity? What are you becoming? Who are you next? And so everybody had their identities, and it made it normal language. So you might be thinking, what's wrong with Tina? Why is she even saying this? If you had been in Life Mastery this week with 1,800 people from around the world, there were 63 countries there, it would be normal to you to ask somebody, who are you becoming? What is your new identity? And so my new identity is the Queen of Light. And I love the concept, and it only has to matter to me what it means, but it has some significant, it's a play on words, right? Because light can mean different things. So this is the beginning of my process to lose some weight. I feel like I have just brought on too many pounds, and it wasn't all the food I ate in Thailand. There was some other stuff going on, and then the stress of when we came back. And so I just need to get back in a better place. And I'm going to do that by being in control of my body, of what I put in my body, how I treat my body. I have been working out, but it's been sluggish. And so I want to get all of that back into the right places, if you will. We can talk about that a little bit more. I'm going to share 3 things I really learned and want to share with you in this call. But I do want to tell you first that the cycle is complete. All 9 of our kids came home for Chris's medical event. And that's significant to us. Now, they weren't all exactly here at the right time. They were pretty dang close. But the only time all the kids came together on the same day for us since we've been married 10 years ago is the day we were married. So it was kind of a nod, let's call it, to us that the kids care. I mean, they're kids, right? Of course they care. But they made a concentrated effort, like a little army came in and took care of what we needed. And it was such a blessing. So the last daughter from afar left yesterday. And it was pretty intense to just feel that much love from everybody. You know, of course, I'm still reeling in the gratitude of I get to keep my husband. That feels pretty good. And in the Life Mastery event, we had people that were seeing Chris on the screen behind me and getting excited. And yes, lightness, very much. But they were getting excited because they were people that when I told the Tony Robbins and the Platinum community that my husband was in duress, because I was in Cambodia when it happened, just after the Thailand trip, and I got a call that Chris was unresponsive in the hospital, and I was like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? Well, everybody came together. I was on a private jet headed home, which was amazing in its own way, but everything was chaotic, and so I reached out to the community, and everybody started praying. And there was so much prayer, so much put on Chris. Well, now we wrote we had a little WhatsApp group where I was putting all the updates. Not everybody either goes back and reads it or even was in the update group. So some of the people were seeing Chris on the screen and getting excited and messaging me and being like, how's Chris doing? It looks like he's doing great. And then he joined in a couple of the breakouts, and everybody was sharing their stories. And it was so beautiful to hear other people's stories. So one of the gentlemen shared that he and his wife found out about it while they were still in Thailand. And every morning they got up and prayed for me and my husband. And I just got to say that was just such a blessing. And then one of the gals that was in our room is struggling with some mobility issues. And I just felt such a strong conviction to pray for her for healing, because God has shown me that healing happens, that miracles happen, that things we can't explain happen all the time. And so I felt moved to pray over her. And I told Chris afterwards, I was like, I think that we need to create a community where we're praying for each other, because everybody was so beautiful in their support of his situation, and we want to give back. So that's the beautiful thing that's happening, is that we are going to create a prayer group for our community and support people in that way. So we're pretty excited about that. And let's see, the other thing I wanted to share with you is I think it's pretty funny, the difference between reality and what gets put up in the world. So my VA has been trying to keep up with my crazy schedule and interruptions and things going on, and she's been doing this beautiful job of getting things worked up for her. Sorry, I got totally distracted there. My VA has been helping me with setting up posts and doing things, and she's been doing a great job of all the scheduling. So I have not been doing a great job with all the pressures going on of reminding her and telling her things that I have in my head. And one of them was what I was going to talk about today. So she posted a photo, and it was from James Bond Island, me on the beach. There's like this nice sandy beach and some kayaky type pictures, and then the beautiful things from the James Bond islands. The thing is I look at that and I know it's not me, but I also know that it's not reality. The day we went to James Bond Island in Thailand, it was pouring down rain, like so bad. From the time we went from the ship on that kayak, now the kayaks were inflatables, not like they're showing the pictures, again, reality detail, but we're on these inflatable kayaks, and the guy brings us in, and from the time from the ship to the island, which was maybe 5 minutes, it poured, and the water, the waves were going really high, and we had to like get help to jump up because the waves were so strong coming onto the shore. And so the water's coming down, we're sopping wet. And we get there, and all the vendors had to close up their stores because it was so wet. And they were trying to sell raincoats, and we were like, we don't need that, but we're just dripping. And so the reality was not nice, pleasant, calm, sitting there on a beachy environment. It was chaos. And sometimes, like, doesn't it feel like that? Like, there's this picture on a magazine that looks so perfect, and you do not know anything about the backstory or what the reality of the situation is. So I just thought that was really interesting how life is, right? We can put a lot of attention into what isn't even real. So I'm glad you're here today. Ignore the picture. Ignore that it says it's the June series. Ignore that it says it's the wild blue yonder. And let's just be present with this moment in time where I, as Coach Tina, tell you the 3 things that I want you to know that I have learned in this last little bit of time. And the first one is health is precious. Okay, we already know that, like, common sense know that health is important. But when you know it at that level that it's just like, oh my gosh, I appreciate every organ in my body. I appreciate my heart for beating every day. How often do you thank your heart for just doing all the things that it does, that it's done for you every moment of your life? Like, we don't do that, right? But when you can have this full appreciation for your health and what your body is doing for you now, even if there are limitations, if you are loving your body, what a different position that is from when there's that hate or that disdain, or if you're that person who every time you look in the mirror are like, ooh, I've been getting like that lately. So for me to like switch back and be like, okay, health is precious. Health is something we treasure. And I want to appreciate my body to the level that I love, love, love it no matter what. Even on its bad days, even when I look a little bloated, even when it's not performing at the level that I wish it was. It's just like how you would treat a friend struggling in an area. Why can you not be compassionate to yourself? And we have to figure out how to be compassionate in our health. One of the things Peter Diamandis said when I saw him in person in February was, don't do anything stupid this next year. If you can keep from being stupid, you can live to be 120. So don't do anything stupid and love your body, okay? Now, the other important thing I learned at Life Mastery, so item number 2, is life mastery. That concept is not something that you're going to attain one day and there's going to be a little check mark in your book. I mastered my life, yay! I mean, we know that, again, intuitively. Like in the headspace, we're like, okay, life mastery. But it's a journey. And it's a continuous journey. Meaning that there's always going to be another level. Like you might reach the goal that you set for yourself in your health, but then you're going to want to reach another goal. And then you're going to want to reach another goal. And it's going to continue to rise nonstop. And the only thing keeping you from actually having life mastery right now is the meaning that you're assigning to the things that you do. Like, what would it take for you to just be like, I am the master of my life and I am doing X, Y, and Z, and that's what's going to change my health right now, and all will be good. And then going forward with that plan, because one of the things that program after program after program is finally sinking into me is a lot of the things like breakthroughs, the people that have the huge changes after they do an event or whatever, it's because they decided that that was going to happen. Not sat on the fence and said, I wonder if this will work for me. It's the energy that says, from now on, no. Tony phrases it best by saying life will never be the same again. You have to figure out what your words are for that. But when you lean into something and declare that this is the way it's going to be, kind of like Chris in the health situation, I told him yesterday that there was a moment when I felt this huge conviction that whatever evil, whatever devil was in this sickness with him had no authority, that we serve the God that heals and takes care of us. And I know that isn't always true for everybody. And I hate that people have to go through hardships and death and grieving and sadness. But other things happen too. And I don't know why God gave us this beautiful moment that we get to add to our stories. But I know that I'm going to treasure it, and I know that I'm going to make the most of it. So, the third thing I want to share is it's important to pick a thing that you're going to consistently commit to for your lifetime, that's going to improve your level of life. And I say that because I've been going to these events and loving them, but there's always a notebook full of things that I've learned. And then I feel like I have to implement all of them. And then as a result, I implement very, very few of them, if any. So one of the things that stuck was, if you do anything consistently for 6 months, you'll have that for a lifetime. And when I heard that, I instantly doubted it. And I said, that's not true. I have done lots of things and they haven't stuck with me. And then I thought, I haven't done it consistently. Like, I've tried exercise programs, and then after a while, I'm like, I don't stick to it. And then I say it didn't work. That's not really a commitment for changing my life. So knowing that the things that I have done consistently in my lifetime, one is worry about my weight. And that worry has carried into my lifetime. It's a constant battle. It's something I think about all the time. So going back to the meaning you assign to it, what if I just was okay with my body right now? What if I declared that this is the body that I'm going to take care of the way it looks, the way it is, and just be satisfied with that, knowing that I can still work forward, but not with the grief and the anger and the frustration. Like, that doesn't serve anybody. So why not love it exactly as it is right now and see what's possible next? Now, the other thing that I have done consistently for a lifetime is try a lot of new things. Diets, tools, etc. Again, for 6 months. Yeah, there was a weight loss that I did for 6 months, but it wasn't sustainable. It wasn't something that I could keep. I know that I felt it, that even though I lost way more weight, I was on a low-carb diet, and low-carb tends to work really well for me, probably for a lot of people, because carbs are the bane of our existence in some layers. Too many carbs anyway. And what happened was, I lost a lot of weight, but I wasn't fit. I just did it through eating, and I could tell my body wasn't primed. I had great energy. I had great functioning and mobility. I loved the way my clothes looked, but I knew it wasn't right, and I wasn't having fun. Like, I met Chris about that time, and I wanted to go out and eat with him, and I wanted to have fun experiences that involved food, and I had to make a choice. Having those things and spending time with him. And so now I'm thinking, what is the one thing that not only will change my life for a lifetime, but that I am committed on every single level to reach that goal? So I'm still debating what it's going to be, but I have a question for you. What is it that you would pick? If you write it in the comments, I will get back to you and I will tell you what I think mine is going to be. But I'm reserving till the end of the week because I want to really go back through my notes and almost try each one on for size and be like, okay, there was this tool that we learned in Life Mastery. Is that something that I can see the future me, the Queen of Light, doing? Or do I need to set that to the side for now, maybe keep it as a tool in my toolbox, but not something that I'm going to pick up every day like a toothbrush? Okay? What is my toothbrush for my lifetime going to be? This thing that I will do daily that I really believe will change everything. So, thinking on it as I say it, and I'm excited to explore this week and figure out what it is going to be. But I'd love to hear what yours is going to be. So if you have an idea, write it down. And then if you want to talk about it, just message me. Say that you'd like to get together. I have time on my calendar this week and next week just to talk and work things out. All right? So thank you for watching. I treasure you. Remember, my big tool that I do like to do, and hope to do for my lifetime, is breath work. So I am doing breath work sessions once a week. The next one is tomorrow morning. So if breath work is interesting to you, you would like to know more, it is a donation only, because for the next 2 weeks, I will be pushing to make donations for the Marisi Foundation. So if that's something you're interested in doing, trying it out, join me. Message me and I'll send you the link. And I hope you have a really great day. Take care.